to our first guest, Rob Sitz from Russ Matt Baseball, the president of Russ Matt Baseball. And well, first of all, welcome back to Sports Central.
Well, thank you.
What year is this?
15 for 15. Russ Matt.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Hard to believe that, of course, it came from Cleveland Indians leaving some 15, 16 years ago to Arizona, leaving that huge economic impact, a void from that economic impact. And we always get excited to see Russ Matt back, the spring games, the Detroit Tigers. This is a great time if you're a fan of baseball and softball. So what's up with this year's event? How many teams and what are we looking for?
We got 250 teams, over 1,000 games coming in. Like you said, it's a great time going to the ballparks, to the Lake Myrtle Sports Park, Chain of Lakes, Northeast Regional Park. You get the cool thing about Russ Matt is you get to see college teams from all over the country playing against each other and all the different divisions. We got Division 1, 2, 3, NAI, JUCOs. So it's a lot of fun. You get to see players from around the country come right here to Central Florida.
I think one of the things going back 15 years ago, literally at Lake Myrtle, the mulch was being poured, completing the project as the first teams arrived. And something we saw some 15 years ago, we still see all these years later. A lot of these teams have been indoors. They're from the Northeast, they're from up north. They haven't seen grass, let alone been outside on the playing field. So they show up and they like roll around in the grass because they're just happy to be outside again. Have you seen any of that?
Oh yeah, you definitely see that. They're so excited to get out on the field and actually see fly balls, see the batting practice there. The sun, the sunscreen, I always say, is one of the things at Russ Matt that you just see all the fans putting on that sunscreen. And as we got the great weather, and they're not used to it, obviously, during this time of year. But yeah, no, they are extremely excited to get out on the field and play ball when they get down here.
Yeah, definitely some pasty folks this time of year for Russ Matt. When you're walking through Lake Myrtle and you can just smell that
sunscreen and the red the next day on
it.
Yeah,
yeah. It's I'll be walking through. I'll be like, please put on sunscreen. Please put on sunscreen.
Public service announcement.
Yeah, for sure.
So this year, using Northeast Regional Park as well. Tell us about the park.
The park is tremendous. Last year was the first year we got right, as you said, it was just finishing right before we started there. But those four turf fields there make it great because obviously we put a lot of games on those fields in a short amount of time. So the turf holds up great, and it's also in that area in Davenport where probably about 80% of our teams are staying, within a 5-minute drive there around that area. So it's great for them travel-wise, and it was a great facility last year. Looking forward to using it again this year.
I think I don't want to say there's a misconception, but I want to make sure that the residents of Polk County, understand not only for Russ Matt, but in our second segment, we'll talk about the spring games. You're able to go out there and take in all these games. There's day passes, there's tournament passes, and we joked, you were on the radio show not too long ago and talked about the fact that very few people are actually from Florida. So there's a connection to a lot of these teams coming down here. So what website might they go to get a schedule or to figure out where they might be able to see these games?
For sure. Yeah, so russmatt.com has the schedule and all the ticket information, the addresses for all the fields and everything. And like I said before, I mean, it's an incredible opportunity to see all different levels of college baseball going to one park and, Lake Myrtle, for instance, and seeing 9 different games going on at one time. And if you stay there the whole day, you'll see up to 30-some games at that one park, which, again, you're seeing all different levels of college baseball. Get to see the players, coaches, all of that. It's a neat atmosphere there for sure.
Well, I think I'm sorry, go ahead,
No,
Jack.
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's also good for our local coaches and athletes to go to, especially the athletes, because, there's a misconception out there that if you don't go Division I, you haven't arrived, and that's not true. If you're able to play baseball or softball or whatever, lacrosse, whatever it is, and you have the ability to further your career and also your academic career and set yourself up for the future, I think that's what's neat about this event is it's all levels, so you can see, because from high school to whatever the next level is, it's a step up, and you can see how they play, how they practice, how they hone their craft at an event like Russ Matt, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we do get a lot of local high school players that come there, attend, kind of meet the coaches, and more every year you're seeing these local high school players actually on the rosters of these college teams as well, which is a cool thing. I know we've done some stories in the past on that with the local players coming back home during Russ Matt. But yeah, like we said, it's a great opportunity for the high school players, coaches, whatever, to go out there and meet over 250 coaches during this time period. So, and see all the different levels of baseball there.
So for me, it's the angle that I always love this time of year, and we've never been able to get anybody to bite on it, is the umpires. Tell us about the draw, the amount of umpires that have to come in, how far away they come. This is really a neat thing with Russ Matt.
It is. It's an amazing deal but over 100 umpires come down every year. A lot of them have been coming down since the beginning of Russ Matt. A lot of them have made their second homes down here as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a neat atmosphere. They all come down. A lot of them are staying in the same houses together. Obviously work their 1 or 2 games that day, and then go, hit the golf course, hang out at the pool, enjoy the weather. We've got a big group that comes down from Wisconsin every year. So, but yeah, no, it's definitely a neat, as they can't get games up there, they're down here getting a lot of games and enjoying this, beautiful weather and everything we have to offer here in Central Florida.
I think you hit on something just briefly there, talking about the accommodation side. So it's one thing to have the largest baseball spring training in the country in this location, 250 plus teams, but there's the housing components, there's the transportation component, there's the food and beverage. So talk a little bit about how Russ Matt works with the teams to ensure that the experience is a great one, and that they have all the resources they need while they're in this market.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's something I learned quickly, taking over this job, it's a lot more than just what's on the baseball field. But, having the partners that can take care of their lodging, having all the sponsors that can take care of their restaurants and all of that, because as we know, in March in this area, it's packed, so it's not easy to get these teams of 40, 50 players, coaches, trainers, all of that into. So we have a lot of partners that help make that experience for them, the van companies, the bus companies, all of it. It all goes into the experience for the Russ Matt team while they're down here for a week or 2 weeks, however long they're down here. So it's a big deal.
So the website one more time, and then what are the dates? When does it start?
russmatt.com. We start, our first game is February 24th, and we'll go all the way. We also have some high school games all the way to April 16th this year. So.
Okay, and I know that you talk about an event establishing itself in a community, and some months ago, a team from Canada reached out and said, hey, we're looking for some games. We're going to be in the market or whatever. We're able to connect them with you. And so Russ Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, has actually unofficially already started.
It's already started. Yeah, they came down here for some practices and everything. They're getting out on the field, and actually today will be their last day, and then they head for a tournament. But yeah, we've started with the practices, and we got another team coming in February 20th, and then the games start February 24th, and then the rest of it will be a blur. But it's a great opportunity. I encourage the people watching this to come out there and enjoy it. It's, I mean, like I said, there's no other place you can go and see all these different levels of college baseball in one place.
I think we'd be remiss to not mention the Board of County Commissioners, of course, Polk County through Tourism and Sports Marketing, as well as the City of Winter Haven, renovation coming up soon, and then the partners over at City of Auburndale, because if you don't have the facilities and they're not maintained at a high level, one, you have to have them to start, and then they have to be maintained. Yeah. And I think all of those that I previously mentioned have done that to keep an event like Russ Matt going, because if something's not right, first one's going to hear it is Russ Matt, and then that trickles down, right?
It's so important. Actually, the next meeting I'm going to is with all of the facility operators and everything. But yes, I mean, taking care of those fields, providing quality fields, obviously a bit, very important to these coaches and the players to, have that, quality facility for them to practice or play or whatever on there. So yes, that's very important for us. We've got, and Polk County does a great job of that. So very thankful for them. And Lake Myrtle, incredible facility, NERP, and I'm looking forward to what we're going to build over at Chain of Lakes here shortly as well. So.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say the one thing that for the fans watching would be to make sure you can constantly check the schedule, because that thing shifts all the time. I know I've seen you with sprouting new gray hairs.
Right. And I've got enough of them already.
More than once as the between weather and delays.
Right.
And,
Yeah, we don't say the R word.
Yeah.
We don't say the
This year
no.
weather,
Just
so.
weather.
That's right.
Yeah, this year it's going to be just as smooth as it can be. So hopefully it stays the same. But yes, do check the schedule constantly on the website. I update it on a daily basis there, and sometimes during those weather issues on an hourly basis.
Yep.
So.
Well, Rob, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We know you're busy, so we'll let you get back to it, but we appreciate what you do and certainly what Russ Matt brings to our community.
Absolutely. Appreciate being here. Thank you.
Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this interview and want to watch more Sports Central, click the video below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.